I killed her in my mind. Was something that she did.
We now know what really happened between David and his girlfriend, or at least, what investigators believe may have taken place. For months, the story was a mystery: scattered sightings, missing person reports, and a trail that ended in Hollywood Hills. But everything changed when a Tesla, abandoned on a quiet street, was towed for overstaying parking limits. Days later, workers at the tow yard noticed a foul odor coming from the front trunk, and what they found sparked one of Los Angeles's most complicated investigations of 2025. By the way, do subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's a red button on your left, and I might catch you in the next one. Now let's get to it.
Before Celeste was found in David's Tesla, she had been refrigerated. Also, the state that police found Celeste in was absolutely horrifying. There was dismemberment done to Celeste that was so extreme that police had problems telling if she was a boy or a girl at first. Now, police have determined that when she was put in the Tesla originally, she was frozen and she was basically left in there to thaw out.
Come to think of it, you never really know if you are safe or not, even with the people you trust. Celeste's story reminds us of that. It is sad, because she never got the chance to tell her side of the story. Inside the car, detectives found human remains, later confirmed to be 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez, a girl who had gone missing many times before. The body was so badly decomposed that investigators still cannot say exactly how she died. But one thing is clear: Celeste knew David before she disappeared. Photos showed them together. Her mother said Celeste had mentioned a boyfriend named David. They even had matching tattoos, and people close to the case said she had been staying at a home connected to him. And this raises a hard, painful question. How did a young girl end up living with someone older? How was she allowed to move around like an adult?
Decedent was found severely decomposed inside a vehicle on September 8, 2025. She appears to have been deceased inside the vehicle for an extended period of time before being found. We are unable to determine her age, race, or ethnicity. The decedent was wearing a tube top and black leggings size small. She has wavy black hair and was wearing jewelry including a yellow metal stud earring and a yellow metal chain bracelet. Now, after she was brought to the medical examiner's office, we had a little bit more of a detailed description of her. This is when they shared her height and when they shared her tattoo description on one of her fingers. One, if just a head and torso were found like a lot of you are saying, they would not have a description of what was on her finger. And two, if her body was dismembered, she would not be clothed in a black tube top, she would not have jewelry on, she would not have had size small black leggings, and the medical examiner's office would not have been able to release her exact height, especially not as quickly as they did. Now, as for why it was not released that she had a David tattoo allegedly on one of her fingers, I think that was strategic. Law enforcement knew that her body was found in David's Tesla.
Sometimes the danger does not only come from strangers. Sometimes it comes from the people who fail to protect you. A parent's job is to guide, to set limits, to keep a child safe. When those boundaries disappear, bad people can take advantage. A 14-year-old is still vulnerable, still learning, still trusting too easily. Celeste's situation shows how fast things can go wrong when adults around a child do not pay attention to the risks. When no one checks who she's with, or where she's staying, or why she keeps disappearing. It is heartbreaking to think about what she might have been going through. The truth is, she needed help, protection, and support. But instead, she was left to fight dangers she was too young to understand. In the end, Celeste's life ended before she could speak for herself. Before she could explain what really happened.
And did y'all notice? David never took care of Celeste. She was always wearing the same clothes. She pulled up to one of his concerts in Hello Kitty slides. That man did not help her. He literally called her the Hello Kitty girl. Like, with all that money that he was making, he could have bought her a new set of shoes. He could have bought her a new wardrobe. No, she was literally in that same hoodie, the same slides. She was just a little girl who was probably so excited and just thinking that, oh, I'm so special because he picked me out of everybody in the world. When a girl is around 12, 13 years old, let me tell you something. Any attention we get from a man, whether it's positive, we don't realize that it's negative till the end. It makes you feel like you're worthy. It makes you feel like you're important. And that's exactly what David was trying to make her feel, like she matters. But in the back of his head, he knew damn well that he didn't give a f about her. He didn't want anybody to see her. The people around him too, they obviously was around Celeste and they saw she was wearing the same clothes.
From such accounts, it is safe to say that Celeste was a prisoner to the lifestyle she thought she wanted. Not because someone locked her up, but because she locked herself into a dream she wasn't old enough to understand. Celeste was only 14. 14, with a mind full of escape routes, fantasies, and TikTok-shaped ideas of what adulthood looked like. And then came Darius, a rising teenage musician, older, confident, already living on the road. To her, he was freedom, a life beyond curfews, a life where nobody told her no. People close to her say Celeste had run away before. But this time wasn't about fear. This time was about the thrill. She wanted to be grown. She wanted to live the fairy tale, leaving home, chasing love, and living city to city with a boy she thought understood her better than anyone else ever had. And Darius, maybe he wasn't a villain. Just a kid playing adult. He gave her everything he thought love required. Attention, presence, late-night calls, letting her stay with him, letting her feel chosen. But when two kids play adults, someone always gets hurt. Because Darius wasn't ready to be a parent. He wasn't ready to guide a runaway teenager. He wasn't ready to carry the emotional weight of a child searching for belonging. What Celeste saw as romance, Darius may have seen as first love syndrome, intense at first, fiery, obsessive, but doomed to fade as the world around him grew bigger than one girl. Her life changed him. Responsibilities changed him. People came and went, and slowly Celeste became less of a partner and more of a responsibility he never asked for. There were days, people say, when he left her alone in his place, hours at a time, sometimes overnight. While he chased music, shows, friends, parties, she waited. Because she was still a child, because she had nowhere else to go. The world saw her as a runaway. But she wasn't running to freedom. She was running into another cage. The cage of someone else's lifestyle, someone else's pace, someone else's dreams. Dreams too big for a 14-year-old to survive inside. And as the months went on, the cracks began to show. The loneliness, the neglect, the disappearing acts, the forgotten texts, the promises that dried up. Celeste had left home searching for love. But what she found instead was the dark side of growing up too fast. A child trying to live an adult fantasy. And an older teen who didn't know how to take care of her or himself. This is where the road stopped feeling magical. This is where the fairy tale collapsed. And this is where Celeste's story became a warning. So here's where things just got way crazier. A whole grand jury has now been convened. Yeah, not the regular police interview type stuff. We're talking subpoenas, locked door testimony, digital data pulls, the whole legal Avengers team assembling. For the past few weeks, prosecutors in LA have been quietly bringing in witnesses, reviewing phone logs, car data, surveillance, literally anything that might explain how 14-year-old Celeste Rivas ended up in the frunk of a Tesla registered to the artist D4VD. And here's the wild part. This isn't even the kind of grand jury that gets to indict someone on the spot. Nah. This is the investigative version, the we're collecting receipts before we burn down the timeline version. Sources say the grand jury met for several days, going through evidence that's still sealed from the public, including the entire autopsy report. Yep, the cause of death? Still hidden, still unknown, still under court order. So what does that mean? It means the story is far from over, and prosecutors clearly believe there's more here than what the public has seen. It means investigators now have the power to force testimony from people who maybe didn't want to talk before. It means the digital trail, texts, calls, locations, is being pulled apart piece by piece. It means someone out there already knows exactly what went down. But the rest of us? We're still left in the dark. One thing is clear though, whatever happened between David and Celeste, it's becoming one of the most haunting, confusing, and emotional cases of 2025. And now that a grand jury is digging in, yeah, expect the truth to start cracking through real soon.